She's regarded as an expert in her field in terms of recruiting and as a recent new board member of the Southern Association of Colleges and Universities. So I'm excited to welcome Jamie, and she's going to begin our presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and pass her the presenter controls, and we're going to get this started. You will see that there's a Q&A function up in the top right-hand corner. You're welcome to submit questions throughout this presentation, or you may wait until the end, and then we will field those questions to Jamie. So again, thank you everybody for joining, and I'm going to go ahead and hand over the presenter tools over to Jamie. Welcome, Jamie. Jamie, we don't appear to have any audio from you.
Hi, everyone. Please be patient with us as we deal with this technical difficulty. We'll be with you in just a moment. Hi, everybody. Our panelist has logged off to log back on. Please be patient as she comes back on.
Hello?
You're good. We got you.
Hi, Jamie. We're good.
You got me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so sorry. We're going to go ahead and get started over, and I do apologize for that technical difficulty there. And there we did that test run and thought we had it all figured out. Good old technology for you. All right, so as Andrew had graciously introduced me, my name is Jamie Gartner, and I'm the Talent Acquisitions Manager with Enterprise, and I'm really excited to be here to share a little bit of information about Enterprise and possible career opportunities with you guys. So to get started, you know, who is Enterprise? And I know most of you have heard of us and you've heard of our Enterprise as a rental car company, but we're actually much more than that. Enterprise is actually Enterprise Holdings. And we own and operate several different brands and lines of businesses, starting with, of course, our Enterprise brand, and then we have Alamo National, which we acquired back in 2007, that primarily supports our airports. But as you can see under the Enterprise brand, we have all different types of divisions, from a car sales division to a rental car division, which again is what most people have heard of, our commercial trucks division, car share, ride share, fleet management. Really the Taylor family's intention is to give our customers a total automotive and transportation solution. So as you can see clearly on this slide, these are some examples of us being able to accomplish that mission. We're global. And, you know, this is one of my more favorite slides to share, because I remember when I started back with Enterprise in 2001, we really just were in North America. We had started to expand into Europe a little bit, but even our European operations really didn't have very much of a presence. But, you know, we kind of joke Enterprise is really wanting to, you know, kind of take over the world, if you will. And the Taylor family is very much committed to growth. And we knew, because we have about 85% of the market share in North America, that growth in North America was going to be challenging. But we saw opportunities to grow from a global perspective. And just over the last 5 years, we've made some major strides to growth. And as you can see from this slide here, we do continue to grow, and not only in Europe, but as you can see in Mexico and South America, starting to expand into Asia. We actually just opened up in Australia. I didn't get a chance to update my slide with licensee operations, which is very exciting. But really the great thing about this, and what I always like to reinforce to folks who are considering a career with Enterprise, is that this right here means opportunity, because we do only promote from within. So, you know, folks that come in here could potentially have an opportunity to go internationally. And I've got a couple friends right now, one in Australia and one that just accepted a position in Germany. So lots of exciting adventures with Enterprise. I mentioned that we're family-owned, and Forbes has consistently ranked us as one of the largest privately held companies. I believe this past year we were ranked number 16th on that Forbes list. We're the largest fleet of passenger vehicles in the world. We right now are at about 1.5 million units in our fleet, and the largest buyer and seller of vehicles. And this past fiscal year, we went in at right at $19.5 billion in revenue. But because we only promote from within, we're the largest recruiter of college graduates. And this year alone, we're on pace to hire 10,000 college graduates into our management training program. And people always ask, you know, why? Like, that's a lot of people. And I always attribute it back to the fact that we're growing. And the company worldwide is growing at a pace of 15%, and that's just for our rental car locations. But when you think about all of the other lines of businesses and divisions that we support, because we only promote from within, we have to continue to bring in management trainees to support all the promotional and growth opportunities that we have company-wide. We have a very strong environmental platform. You know, we recognize having 1.5 million units rolling around certainly does have, you know, its stamp on the environment, and we want to make sure that we're doing our part. And, you know, just, you know, a couple of tidbits on our environmental platform. One is that to commemorate our 50th anniversary, the Taylor family committed to planting 50 million trees over the next 50 years, which is an equivalent of planting an entire Central Park every day for 10 years. But you can read more about our environmental platform on drivingfutures.com, which is I think, a pretty cool website. I want to talk to you just a little bit about the mission and values of our organization. This is Jack. He's the founder of our company. And Jack really built our business on the simple philosophy of taking care of customers and employees, and then the growth and the profitability will follow. And that's the thing that I always reinforce back to folks who are considering a career with Enterprise, or even to our current staff, is, you know, you got to have your basics in check. And if your people are happy, if your employees are engaged, if they're having fun, if they're motivated, if they have a good career opportunity, and in turn they're doing well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to take care of your customers. If your customers are happy, then you're going to have the growth, then you're going to have the profitability. And we've been very fortunate to experience quite a bit of success. You know, starting, you know, as a startup back in '57 with 7 cars in the basement of a Cadillac dealership, to now here we are, you know, with the global expansions and the 1.5 million units worldwide, and, you know, 80,000 employees. It's very, very exciting, but it all comes back to that basic principle that, you know, that Jack built this business on. You know, to talk to you just a little bit about, you know, the values of our company, you know, it starts with, you know, having a strong heritage and, you know, going back to, you know, our roots of starting in 1957 as, you know, a leasing company. The Taylor family has been very committed to making sure that Enterprise stays a privately held company. We feel like there's a tremendous amount of stability, financial stability, through, you know, being able to remain private and make decisions and really run our business on a local level. So, you know, our current leadership is Pam Nicholson is the president of our company. Pam actually started off as a management trainee, which I think is really exciting. Right below her is Jack's granddaughter, Chrissy Taylor, who also started in our management training program. But we have a very strong commitment to customer service. We believe that satisfied customers come back. And we want to be a great employer. We want people to be engaged and excited and happy to work at Enterprise. We're really looking for people who want to come in and want to stay long term and really want to grow. But we also feel like it's important to be a strong corporate partner and to give back to our communities and to really be involved in a local level. And, you know, I think that, you know, it's a lot of fun. You know, Enterprise is always looking for ways, you know, in that local community to connect with our potential customers. So now I just want to spend the next couple of minutes talking to you a little bit about our management training program. What is a management trainee? Well, I actually started in the management training program. I started with Enterprise almost 15 years ago. And, you know, my personal story was that I didn't really know a lot about what I wanted to do after graduation. I was still kind of in that, like, uh-oh, I don't really know what I want to do with the rest of my life phase, which I'm sure that none of you have ever experienced that before, right? But, you know, with me, I was looking for training, and I needed experience. I needed, you know, kind of initially, I'll admit, I was kind of looking for something to build my resume. But I appreciated the fact that Enterprise offered training and they offered a career path. And so as a management trainee, I kind of joke it's a learn how to run your own business program. We want to bring you in and we want to teach you things such as sales and business and financial analysis and management and customer service. But what's really, really great about our company, like I referenced earlier, is that we only promote from within. So, you know, I hear all the time, you know, oh, I want to be in your corporate sales division. Well, great. Let me talk to you about our management training program, because that's where you'd start and you'd get a good basic understanding of our company and you'd move up. Or my personal example is now being overseeing our talent acquisitions division, but having started as a management trainee. And, you know, we think that's important because we feel like if you've got a really good foundation in our daily rental operations, that the sky's really the limit with where you can go and the opportunities that would present themselves, you know, within Enterprise. So this is our career path, and I remember back, you know, like I said, 15 years ago when I was just graduating from college and was considering a career with Enterprise, this was the thing that got me the most excited. And what I really liked about this was that there was some structure where I kind of knew, all right, these are what my next steps are. This is where I need to go. And what I liked about the training program was that it was structured enough to keep you engaged, but it wasn't so rigid that you didn't have an opportunity to kind of make it your own. So there certainly is that performance-based component. But generally speaking, it's taking you about 9 to 12 months to get through that training program. And really our goal is to get you to be a branch manager within about 3 to 4 years. And as you can see from the illustration, generally speaking at branch manager, if you were to pursue a career path outside of that daily rental career path, generally speaking, you would start to pursue that at around that branch manager level. So what are we looking for? You know, right now, we are actively recruiting our May graduates, and so if anyone on the call is graduating in May and I've piqued your interest, we would love to talk to you. We are not looking for any particular degree, so I think a common misconception is, oh, I have to have a degree in business. I'll tell you guys, one of my best hires was a history major. And it wasn't really about, you know, the degree we think you need to have, because we think there's, you know, it's important to have that completed degree. But what we're really looking for is people who have leadership, people who have work experience, and most importantly, someone who has a really great attitude, loves customers, loves working with people, likes to have fun at work, likes working in a hands-on environment. So if that's something that you think that you're interested in, I'd love to talk to you more about our management training program. Your best bet, if you find that you're interested, is to go to our careers website. this website is really great. It's going to give you not only the career path, it's interactive, but tons of fun videos kind of introducing you to the culture of our company, that environmental platform that I referenced earlier, as well as lots of information about our local community involvement. All of my contact information is available on the website. You might be in a position where maybe you're like, oh, I'm interested in enterprise, but I'm not necessarily interested in working in Austin. That's not a problem. Chances are we would be hiring in that local area of interest. You just need to go onto the website and look for available positions within the area that you're most interested in applying to. Once you complete the application, generally speaking, you are going to hear back from a talent acquisitions professional within about 24 to 48 hours. Because all of our contact information is on our website, it's very easy for you to do a follow-up if you have questions about the status of your application. So that concludes my presentation on enterprise holdings and career opportunities with enterprise. Now I wanted to give you all an opportunity to ask me any questions that you might have using the chat function.
And Jamie, this is Andrew. I thought I would kick off with some questions of my own. Can you describe the culture at Enterprise? I know culture is a big piece for a lot of applicants when they're considering different companies, and certainly Austin has a unique culture to many of its companies here. So can you talk a little bit about working at Enterprise from this perspective?
That's a great question, and I'm so glad that you asked that. It's very difficult to really describe our culture because it's really so unique among anything that I've ever seen. We just genuinely like to have fun at Enterprise. So, you know, it starts with, you know, if there's a contest, if there's, you know, kind of that team camaraderie of, and it doesn't even have to be anything big. I mean, I remember when I was a manager, it was like we'd have, let's just say we had the fancy Cadillac on the lot, and it was like, who could rent that Cadillac and get the most revenue for that Cadillac at lunch on me? You know, and it was just kind of all in good fun and kind of keeps you motivated and keeps you engaged. We are very involved in the community, and, you know, just an example, just this past weekend, a group of Enterprise employees, there was about 25 of us, we went out and ran the CAP 10K, which I'm not sure if you guys know, but the CAP 10K actually supports the local Lake Austin or Lady Bird Lake trails. And, you know, it's just a fun way, you know, to kind of stay active but also be involved in the community. Now, I will tell you that my feet are paying for that now, but yeah, it was, you know, it was a lot of fun to do stuff like that. Sometimes it's races, sometimes it's being involved. We've got one area manager that kind of spearheads our efforts for involvement with Dell Children's and the Ronald McDonald House. So, you know, there's all these different types of opportunities to be involved with the community. But, you know, Enterprise also has a professional tone. You know, if you were to accept a career with us, you know, we do have more of that business dress in terms of our expectation and our work culture. But it's not stuffy. I think sometimes people see suits and they get scared away and they kind of think like, oh, that's intimidating and that's not my style. But, you know, we have a laid-back culture, but we want to have a professional atmosphere. And the reason why is because, you know, folks are coming in and they've just had that experience of their car was broken down, they've been involved in an accident, and they need a professional to take care of them. And that's the brand and the image that we want to project. You know, as far as the pace of the day, it's very fast-paced. This is a very hands-on, all-in kind of environment where, you know, not the desk job where you're sitting in the cube full of a room full of, you know, 75 other cubes and you've got your headset on and, you know, you're waiting for 6 o'clock to come. It literally is like you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, it's 6 o'clock, like it's already time for me to go home. That's how fast-paced our environment is. So culture is very unique, but I guess if I have to describe it in one word, I'd say fun.
Jamie, after someone completes the management trainee program and has worked in the first entry-level position, typically what is the time frame for new opportunities within Enterprise that someone could move to?
Sure. You know, it takes about 9 to 12 months to complete the training program, and we're hoping that within about a year and a half to 2 years that you've earned your first promotion as an assistant manager or into that next opportunity. Our promotional opportunities are 100% based on performance, and so it's nice because you feel like you're kind of in the driver's seat in terms of, you know, getting through the program. You know, how long is it going to take you? Well, that depends upon you and how quickly you meet the requirements. When do you get promoted? Well, that depends upon you and your individual performance. But like I mentioned before, you know, I'd say an average goal would be 3 to 4 years to get you to branch manager. I've certainly seen people do that much quicker, though, and that's all based on their individual performance.
And I've heard outside of Enterprise that Enterprise's management trainee program is really regarded as one of the best, and it's kind of an envy of a lot of other corporations. I know you probably would agree, but do you have any additional commentary on that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree that it is the best, and I think really the reason why it is the best is we're very selective with the folks that we're bringing into this training program. We want to hire the best of the best. So the people that we bring in, we're really looking for commitment. We're really looking for long-term. We're really looking for someone who loves people, has strong communication skills, strong persuasive skills, and a high level of professionalism. So I think one of the reasons why our training program is so successful is because we hire great people. I also think that we feel like it's important to give our employees a chance to kind of make it their own. So, you know, like I mentioned, and I keep saying performance-based because it really truly is. You know, it's based on you and your effort that you put into the training program. And I know from my personal experience, when I first started with the company, I did not get off to as good of a start as I thought that I was going to. I struggled with sales. But, you know, I kind of had, you know, it's kind of like that, you know, fork in the road, if you will, where I could have said, well, you know what, I can't do this, I quit, or you know what, no, I can't do this, I'm going to figure out how to do this. And we really want to empower our employees to kind of work through those challenges. Our managers have been where our trainees have been. And again, I think that's what sets our training program apart, is that they can really truly speak in this training program to experience and say, you know, I know you're challenged by this in the training program. I had a similar experience. Let me talk to you about what I did to work through that training program.
Okay. And you mentioned global opportunities. If an applicant was accepted into the management training program and performed well after a year or two, what would be their strategy if they were really interested in possibly pursuing going to a branch abroad?
You know, it's as simple as reading the position and the opening and just meeting the qualifications and applying. You know, and with each global opportunity that we have, each position is going to have a different set of experiences that we're going to need and minimum qualifications internally that we're going to need that person to have. But I know with my colleague that now is in Australia, I mean, it was literally he saw the opening and talked it over with his wife and said, hey, you want to go down under? And next thing you know, they're moving, you know, literally across the world. So that's how that works. Of course, in those situations when we have employees that are moving and doing that, we have relocation packages regardless. But, you know, in situations like that, you know, of course, Enterprise is assisting with relocation packages and moving and all of the things that it would take to get someone over there. I've got one of my colleagues, he's originally from China, and he is looking to go back there, and that's an area. We have an affiliate company that currently is in China managing our Asian operations, but there's some possibilities that, you know, he might be able to pursue something there, you know, within the next couple of years, which would be a win-win because, you know, he'd be able to get back home and, you know, we would be able to have someone who had that strong enterprise culture. So we've got an internal career center where all of our positions company-wide are posted, And we always encourage our employees to go onto that Career Center and look at those openings and apply for positions that they feel like they're qualified for.
Good. Well, this will be our final question. I know a lot of students are a lot of recent upcoming graduates are going through the application process, and they're going online and they're applying, and they're not always certain what to expect. If a candidate it appears like they're going to be a possible good qualified candidate, what can they expect the next step would be? Would they receive a phone call, or will they get some sort of email?
Sure. So if someone applies online, they should expect to hear back from someone, a talent acquisitions professional, within at least 2 business days of completing the application. Our best practice is an initial phone call. If we can't reach that person, we're generally sending an email with some information on how to schedule that appointment for an application review. The application review is a very quick screen over the phone, just to discuss some basic experience and also talk to a little bit about the position and just make sure that this is something that they're really interested in applying for. After that conversation, if that conversation is favorable, then we will move forward with scheduling a first interview. That first interview is, of course, because we understand, especially with students right now, we're working around their schedules, because I know you've got a lot on your plate right now. But we schedule the first interview where you have a chance to meet with a talent acquisitions professional. That particular interview is very comprehensive because we spend quite a bit of time actually talking about the training program. If recommended, then you would go out to do what's called a branch observation, where you are getting a firsthand look at the company, the branch, the pace, the culture that we talked a little bit about before. And it really is going to kind of help you evaluate, is this something that I could kind of see myself doing? And then you would do a second interview with a hiring manager. At that point, we would make the decision on whether or not to offer you the position or not. And if we decided to offer you the position, then at that point we would start pre-employment background checks. For this summer, we've got very aggressive hiring strategies. So we're looking to hire probably about 100 MTs this summer just in Austin to support the growth that we've got here. If you guys haven't noticed, Austin's growing at like a crazy rapid pace, and with more people comes more cars, comes more need for enterprise locations, right? So good problem to have, but we're looking to have orientations every week this summer to support that growth.
Typically, how many enterprise employees are at each location?
It depends upon the size of the store. So I would say if I were to average it out, I'd say no more than 10. But we've got really, really big stores that have like 25 to 30, and then we've got small stores that maybe have like 2 or 3. But yeah, if you were to kind of average it all out, it'd be about 10.
Okay. And I always like to ask recruiters this: as students are going into interviews, what is your biggest piece of advice and or pet peeve you want?
Well, I think that, like I mentioned before, doing your homework and doing that research piece is just so critical, because it's a big decision. You need to, if you were to be offered a position, you really need to be able to confidently say yes or no. And so I think having done that research is going to help with that. So doing research, I think, is important, and that's kind of my piece of advice, but it also is a little bit of a pet peeve for me, because I kind of feel like if you haven't gone in and you haven't done that research and you don't have questions, like, really, how seriously are you taking this process?
Absolutely.
So interview us, ask questions. We want to answer those questions. This is a big decision.
Well, Jamie, I think those are all of our questions. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with?
No, other than this was a lot of fun. I'm very sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. Still not sure what happened. That's okay because we found each other. You're welcome to connect with me via email. All of my contact information, as you can see, is on the slide. Twitter, LinkedIn, we'd love to connect. And apply online if you find that you're interested. And if you do apply, just shoot me an email and let me know that you applied, and I'll make sure that your application gets contacted right away.
Well, excellent.
Including me.
Well, excellent. Thank you, Jamie. Again, I think it was very fitting that you're one of our longest partners here at St. Edward's, and of course, Enterprise is a big supporter of not just St. Edward's, but all college graduates. And it was great to have Enterprise be the founding and first session presenter for our virtual career fair.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for including me, and good luck with the rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And for
bye-bye.
the attendees that are still on, we will have our next session begin at 12 o'clock with Bazaar Voice. We will have another session that will be at 4 o'clock with Pet Relocation, and then there will be another session at 5 p.m. with UMCO, which is for pharmaceutical sales.